When most Americans think of Italian food, Olive Garden is one of the first names that comes to mind. But the story behind this iconic restaurant chain is far richer, more complex, and surprisingly bold than most people realize. This is not just a tale about pasta, breadsticks, or unlimited salad. This is a story about vision, calculated risks, and an idea that transformed casual dining in the United States forever. Presented by Rise Chrono, this documentary-style narration reveals how Olive Garden went from a single Italian restaurant concept to a multi-billion-dollar empire, shaping the way Americans eat, socialize, and celebrate. The origins of Olive Garden date back to the early 1980s, a time when the casual dining scene in America was dominated by steakhouses and fast food chains. Italian cuisine existed mostly in small family-owned restaurants concentrated in urban neighborhoods. National chains focused on burgers, fried chicken, and pizza. In this landscape, launching a nationwide Italian restaurant was a bold, almost risky decision. Many industry experts doubted whether Americans were ready to embrace consistent, quality Italian dining outside their local pizzerias. Despite skepticism, a company called General Mills, the same giant known for cereals, saw an opportunity. They were looking to diversify their portfolio into casual dining, and Italian cuisine offered both familiarity and novelty. The first Olive Garden opened its doors in Orlando, Florida, in 1982. Its concept was simple but revolutionary: provide an authentic Italian dining experience with a consistent menu, large portions, and a warm, inviting atmosphere. It promised the comfort of family-style meals, but with the reliability of a national chain. From the very beginning, Olive Garden focused on two pillars that would define its brand: hospitality and consistency. The decor was designed to evoke a rustic Italian villa, complete with warm lighting, faux vineyards, and textured walls. Servers were trained not just to deliver food, but to create an experience. Every meal was accompanied by freshly baked breadsticks, unlimited salad, and a sense of abundance that Americans immediately connected with. Unlike many casual restaurants of the time, Olive Garden made guests feel as if they were entering a destination, not just a place to eat. Early success was not guaranteed. The restaurant industry is notoriously unforgiving. Every new location carried the risk of poor reception, operational inefficiency, and high overhead costs. Olive Garden faced these challenges head-on, investing heavily in staff training, kitchen processes, and ingredient sourcing. One of the company's most critical innovations was standardizing recipes across locations. While small Italian restaurants thrived on personal touch and local improvisation, Olive Garden relied on precise methods to ensure that the same dish tasted identical in Orlando, Chicago, or Los Angeles. This attention to detail laid the foundation for national scalability. By the late 1980s, Olive Garden began expanding aggressively. General Mills used a strategic approach to location selection, focusing on suburban areas with high family density and disposable income. The brand avoided urban chaos and instead chose neighborhoods where dining out was not just a meal, but a social activity. This decision would later prove essential to the chain's dominance in the casual dining sector. Expansion brought new challenges. Maintaining quality across multiple locations is exponentially harder than operating a single restaurant. Supply chains had to be developed to deliver fresh ingredients nationwide. Cheese, olive oil, pasta, and fresh vegetables needed reliable sourcing partners. Kitchens had to operate efficiently without sacrificing the taste and presentation that defined the brand. Management learned quickly that scale required discipline, attention, and constant monitoring. By the 1990s, Olive Garden had become one of the fastest-growing casual dining chains in America. Its combination of Italian cuisine, family-friendly atmosphere, and perceived value resonated with millions. The brand's approach to unlimited salad and breadsticks became legendary, creating both word-of-mouth marketing and customer loyalty. Olive Garden was not just selling pasta, it was selling abundance, hospitality, and reliability. But growth was not without internal tension. As locations multiplied, Corporate leadership faced decisions about menu expansion, pricing strategy, and brand identity. Should the chain offer more authentic regional Italian dishes or stick with simplified versions that appeal to the broadest American audience? How could Olive Garden retain its unique atmosphere while operating hundreds of restaurants nationwide? These were complex questions, but the leadership consistently chose a balance. Authentic enough to feel Italian, familiar enough to feel approachable. The 2000s brought a new wave of innovation and challenge. Casual dining as a sector became crowded. Competitors emerged with similar concepts, and consumer expectations evolved. Health-conscious menus, dietary restrictions, and online ordering were now necessary rather than optional. Olive Garden responded by expanding menu options to include lighter entrees, gluten-free pasta, and more vegetarian choices. They introduced digital ordering and loyalty programs, embracing technology to meet modern consumer needs. Throughout this period, Olive Garden's leadership maintained a focus on brand experience. Restaurants continued to emphasize warm, welcoming interiors. Staff training programs were enhanced to focus on attentiveness and guest satisfaction. Marketing campaigns highlighted family gatherings, celebrations, and the joy of Italian dining. Unlike many chains that focus solely on price or speed, Olive Garden doubled down on its core promise, making every guest feel special. Financially, Olive Garden became a cornerstone of Darden Restaurants, the parent company that manages several major American casual dining chains. Its valuation skyrocketed into the billions, and it became a model for scaling concept-driven dining nationwide. The chain's net worth, derived from revenue, brand recognition, and real estate investments, positioned it as one of the most valuable restaurant properties in the country. Analysts often point to Olive Garden as a case study in consistent growth, operational discipline, and brand loyalty. Global expansion was considered, but cautiously approached. Olive Garden's appeal was heavily rooted in American interpretations of Italian cuisine. While its menu and atmosphere translated well into certain international markets, leadership focused on deepening domestic presence before risking the brand overseas. This restraint ensured quality control and maintained the integrity of the Olive Garden experience. As Olive Garden entered the 2010s, challenges shifted. The casual dining industry faced competition not just from similar chains but from fast casual concepts like Panera Bread, Chipotle, and even specialty coffee shops. Consumer behavior changed, with increased preference for online ordering, delivery, and convenience. Olive Garden adapted by integrating technology and creating more efficient operations without losing the sense of abundance and hospitality that defined it. Today, Olive Garden is more than a restaurant chain. It is a cultural institution. Its breadsticks, endless salad, and signature entrees are instantly recognizable. Families, friends, and co-workers associate the brand with celebration, comfort, and reliability. And behind the scenes, Olive Garden continues to refine operations, expand strategically, and invest in the systems that will keep it relevant for decades. The story of Olive Garden is one of vision, risk, and relentless execution. From a single restaurant in Orlando to a nationwide empire, it demonstrates the power of brand consistency, operational discipline, and understanding consumer psychology. For viewers watching on Rise Chrono, it offers lessons that go beyond food. Patience, calculated growth, and protecting brand values are as critical as creativity and ambition. And this is just the beginning. The journey of Olive Garden, including its net worth, struggles, and expansion strategies, continues in the next chapters, revealing the real decisions that turned an ordinary idea into an American dining legend. By the mid-1990s, Olive Garden had firmly established itself as a recognizable brand in the United States. However, success brought new challenges that tested both strategy and vision. Expansion at a rapid pace is rarely smooth, and Olive Garden's story is no exception. While millions of diners flocked to the chain for its signature breadsticks, endless salad, and approachable Italian fare, behind the scenes the company faced operational, financial, and strategic obstacles that could have derailed the empire before it fully matured. One of the earliest and most persistent struggles was consistency. Italian cuisine is complex by nature. Regional sauces, pasta shapes, and seasoning require precision. Olive Garden needed to balance authenticity with operational simplicity. Too much authenticity, and kitchens struggled to maintain quality across hundreds of locations. Too little, and the brand risked losing credibility with customers seeking a true Italian experience. Corporate leadership invested heavily in recipe standardization, employee training, and quality control systems. Each kitchen had to reproduce the same taste, presentation, and portion size, ensuring that a customer visiting an Olive Garden in New York would have the same experience as one in Orlando or Dallas. This was no small feat, and mistakes could quickly erode trust. Supply chain management became another critical challenge. Scaling a restaurant that promised fresh ingredients, abundant portions, and variety required a nationwide logistics network. Cheese, olive oil, fresh vegetables, pasta, and meats had to arrive daily at each location. Seasonal fluctuations, supplier reliability, and cost management demanded constant attention. Early on, the chain faced shortages that could have frustrated diners and harmed its reputation. Leadership learned quickly that behind every dining experience lay a complex orchestration of people, systems, and vendors, a reality few casual dining chains acknowledged at the time. Another struggle was perception. Olive Garden had to convince the American public that casual Italian dining was both accessible and desirable. At first, some potential customers dismissed it as just another chain restaurant. Others compared it to small family-owned Italian restaurants, assuming a corporate chain could never match authenticity. Marketing campaigns emphasized abundance, hospitality, and family, strategically addressing these concerns. The endless salad, breadsticks, and consistent portion sizes became both a signature and a psychological anchor. If Olive Garden offered more, it signaled value and reliability. Slowly, public perception shifted. Olive Garden wasn't just acceptable, it became the go-to destination for family gatherings, celebrations, and everyday meals alike. Menu evolution was another critical area. As competition intensified and consumer tastes evolved, Olive Garden could not rely solely on its original offerings. The company introduced new items carefully, balancing novelty with familiarity. Seasonal dishes, specialty soups, and regional Italian variations were incorporated without compromising operational efficiency. Lighter entrees and salads catered to health-conscious diners, while comfort-focused pasta dishes continued to appeal to traditional customers. Every addition required testing, supply chain adjustments, and staff training. A misstep could frustrate loyal customers, while too few innovations risked stagnation. Olive Garden's ability to navigate this balance became a cornerstone of its long-term success. Franchising posed both opportunity and challenge. Early expansion was predominantly corporate-owned, allowing tight control over quality and brand experience. However, as the chain grew, franchising became a tool to accelerate presence, especially in suburban markets. Choosing the right franchise partners was critical. Misaligned operators could dilute brand values, compromise service quality, or harm reputation. Olive Garden implemented rigorous vetting, training programs, and continuous oversight to ensure franchisees upheld the brand's standards. This disciplined approach allowed growth without sacrificing core identity, a mistake many competitors made during similar expansions. Financial pressures were another constant struggle. As Olive Garden scaled, the cost of real estate, labor, and high-quality ingredients rose. Profit margins were thinner than in fast food chains, requiring precise management. Decisions about menu pricing, portion sizes, and promotions were carefully calculated. The company also had to navigate industry-wide downturns, economic recessions, and fluctuating consumer spending patterns. While competitors might resort to cost-cutting at the expense of quality, Olive Garden consistently prioritized experience, even if it meant temporary financial sacrifices. This discipline reinforced customer trust but required resilience from leadership. The 2000s brought a new set of external challenges. Casual dining experienced saturation, with new chains emerging and older brands trying to reclaim relevance. Consumers increasingly valued convenience, online ordering, and dietary customization. Olive Garden invested heavily in technology to meet these demands. Online ordering, digital loyalty programs, and later mobile apps allow customers to engage with the brand on new terms. These technological innovations not only increased convenience, but also provided valuable data for understanding customer behavior and refining operations at scale. The integration of technology marked a critical evolution from traditional dining to modern fast casual efficiency. Global events also tested the brand. Economic recessions and shifting market conditions forced Olive Garden to be adaptable without abandoning its identity. The leadership recognized that survival depended on strategic flexibility paired with operational discipline. For example, menu adaptations were not purely reactionary. They were deliberate, balancing customer expectations with cost management. Seasonal promotions and limited-time offerings became tools for engagement while reinforcing the perception of abundance and value. Marketing was another battlefield. Olive Garden had to navigate public perception, competition, and brand storytelling simultaneously. Advertising campaigns emphasized familial warmth, generous portions, and approachable Italian cuisine. At the same time, social media began influencing public sentiment. Negative reviews, viral complaints, or perceived missteps could spread quickly. Olive Garden embraced transparency, addressing concerns openly and reinforcing its commitment to quality. This approach not only mitigated potential damage, but also strengthened brand loyalty. Despite these challenges, Olive Garden achieved remarkable growth. By mid-2010s, it was consistently ranked among the top casual dining chains in the United States. Revenue exceeded billions annually, supported by a combination of corporate-owned and carefully managed franchise locations. The net worth of Olive Garden, measured by revenue, brand recognition, and strategic positioning within Darden restaurants, positioned it as one of the most valuable casual dining assets in the country. Analysts frequently cite Olive Garden as a textbook example of scaling a concept while preserving brand integrity, a rare achievement in the restaurant industry. What truly distinguished Olive Garden during this period was its ability to maintain an emotional connection with customers. Beyond menu items and pricing, diners associated the brand with celebration, togetherness, and comfort. Family dinners, anniversary celebrations, graduation parties, Olive Garden became the backdrop for life's milestones. This emotional attachment, cultivated over decades, provided a form of intangible value that no competitor could replicate easily. The combination of operational discipline, thoughtful menu evolution, and emotional resonance ensured that Olive Garden remained relevant even as the casual dining landscape evolved. It becomes clear that Olive Garden's rise was not accidental. Every expansion, menu change, marketing decision, and technological investment was carefully orchestrated. The challenges it faced, from operational complexity to competitive pressures, were immense, yet the brand navigated them with patience and strategy. Olive Garden demonstrated that scaling a restaurant concept is far more than multiplying locations. It is about protecting identity, reinforcing trust, and evolving in a way that resonates with both tradition and modern expectations. For viewers on Rise Chrono, the story of Olive Garden offers lessons that extend far beyond the restaurant industry. Vision must be paired with discipline, expansion must be paired with quality control, and emotional connection with customers is as vital as financial performance. Success is not just about growth, it is about preserving what makes a brand indispensable while adapting to an ever-changing world. Next, we'll dive deeper into franchise expansion, international strategy, net worth evolution, and the brand's position in today's competitive landscape, revealing the full magnitude of its transformation into an American dining institution. By the late 2010s, Olive Garden had become a dominant force in American casual dining, yet with dominance came new pressures. The brand now had to manage the complexities of a massive franchise network, consider international expansion, and continually defend its relevance against a rapidly evolving food landscape. The challenge was clear: maintain the core identity while scaling responsibly. For a brand built on the promise of consistent Italian dining, even small missteps could erode trust that had taken decades to build. Franchising remained a central pillar of growth. Early Olive Garden expansion was heavily corporate-owned, ensuring quality control and operational discipline. However, as the chain matured, franchising became a strategic tool to increase market penetration without overextending corporate resources. Selecting the right franchise partners was critical. Leadership developed rigorous criteria, focusing not only on financial capacity but also on operational philosophy. Franchisees had to commit to Olive Garden's service standards, ingredient sourcing requirements, and customer experience guidelines. Training programs were extensive, ensuring that the Olive Garden culture extended beyond corporate walls into every franchise location. Scaling the franchise model revealed the importance of standardized processes. Recipes, kitchen workflows, and training manuals were meticulously documented. This standardization was not merely bureaucratic. It was essential for maintaining consistency across hundreds of locations. For Olive Garden, consistency was synonymous with trust. Customers expected the same quality, service, and experience whether they dined in Orlando, Dallas, or Seattle. Any deviation threatened the brand's credibility, which had been carefully cultivated over decades. International expansion posed its own set of challenges. While American consumers embraced Olive Garden, translating the brand experience into foreign markets required careful adaptation. Olive Garden experimented with international locations in Canada, Mexico, and the Middle East, adjusting menus slightly to accommodate local tastes while maintaining the core Italian-American identity. These adjustments included variations in seasoning, portion sizes, and menu terminology. Leadership prioritized quality over speed of expansion, understanding that premature or poorly executed international growth could dilute the brand and undermine decades of effort. During this period, Olive Garden's financial profile became increasingly impressive. As part of Darden Restaurants, the chain contributed significantly to the parent company's revenue, which was in the multi-billions annually. Analysts frequently highlighted Olive Garden as a reliable cash generator, thanks to a combination of high customer loyalty, predictable traffic patterns, and disciplined operational management. Its net worth was not merely a reflection of physical assets and revenue. It also encompassed brand equity, customer trust, and a cultural footprint that competitors found difficult to replicate. Despite its financial strength, Olive Garden could not afford complacency. Consumer trends were shifting rapidly. Health-conscious diners demanded lighter options, plant-based dishes, and transparency about ingredients and sourcing. Technology was redefining expectations. Mobile ordering, delivery platforms, and loyalty apps were no longer optional, they were essential. Olive Garden invested heavily in these areas, developing digital platforms that allow seamless ordering, personalized offers, and deeper engagement with customers. Technology became a tool not only for convenience but for reinforcing trust, ensuring that every interaction reflected the brand's promise of quality and hospitality. Marketing strategies evolved alongside operational and technological investments. Olive Garden leveraged storytelling that emphasized family, togetherness, and celebration. Advertisements highlighted milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, connecting emotionally with customers. The brand also embraced social media, responding to customer feedback, showcasing menu innovations, and reinforcing transparency. Marketing was no longer just about promoting dishes. It was about cultivating a relationship between the brand and its audience. This relational approach strengthened loyalty and provided a competitive moat against emerging casual dining rivals. Menu evolution continued to be a critical driver of relevance. Olive Garden introduced seasonal dishes, specialty offerings, and limited-time promotions that maintained excitement while adhering to operational feasibility. Health-conscious options, including lighter entrees and vegetable-forward dishes, were incorporated without alienating traditional customers. Every menu change was tested extensively, with supply chain adjustments and employee training ensuring that quality remained consistent. This careful approach allowed the brand to innovate without losing the essence that had made it successful. The physical environment of Olive Garden also adapted to modern expectations. Renovations across locations focused on comfort, accessibility, and efficiency, ensuring that the ambience reflected both Italian warmth and American familiarity. Technology integrations such as digital kiosks, tabletop tablets, and streamlined pickup areas enhanced convenience while preserving the welcoming dining experience. Olive Garden recognized that in the modern market, experience extended beyond food. It encompassed convenience, atmosphere, and emotional resonance. Financially, Olive Garden's franchise model allowed the brand to balance growth with operational control. Corporate-owned locations ensured flagship standards, while franchise locations accelerated market reach. This hybrid approach provided a steady stream of revenue, reduced operational risk, and allowed strategic focus on brand integrity. Olive Garden's valuation within Darden restaurants remained among the highest, with analysts citing operational efficiency, brand equity, and market dominance as key strengths. As competition intensified, Olive Garden distinguished itself through resilience and adaptability. Competitors attempted to mimic its menu, service style, and even ambience, but few succeeded. The combination of disciplined expansion, attention to operational detail, and a clear brand identity created a defensible position that allowed Olive Garden to maintain market leadership. Its customer base remained loyal, valuing the consistent quality and emotional connection the brand cultivated over decades. Olive Garden's story during this phase also highlighted the importance of leadership vision. Decisions about menu, marketing, franchising, and technology were not reactive. They were deliberate, informed by decades of operational data, customer feedback, and market trends. This strategic foresight ensured that Olive Garden could navigate both predictable and unforeseen challenges while continuing to grow and remain relevant. By the end of Part 3, it becomes evident that Olive Garden's rise was far from accidental. Success required balancing multiple, often conflicting priorities: operational efficiency versus customer experience, expansion versus quality, innovation versus tradition. Each decision carried weight, and the brand's ability to navigate these trade-offs defined its long-term success. Olive Garden demonstrated that building a sustainable restaurant empire is not just about creating great food, it is about cultivating trust, operational discipline, and an emotional connection that resonates across generations. Olive Garden's modern legacy, current net worth, ongoing challenges, and what the future may hold for one of America's most beloved casual dining chains. This chapter promises to reveal the culmination of decades of strategic growth, operational innovation, and brand evolution, showing how Olive Garden continues to shape the casual dining landscape while staying true to its core promise. By the 2020s, Olive Garden had firmly established itself as a cornerstone of American casual dining. What began as a bold experiment in Italian-American cuisine had transformed into a nationwide empire, blending tradition with innovation and operational discipline. Its journey was neither simple nor smooth. Behind the endless salad and breadsticks lay decades of strategic decision-making, operational mastery, and an unwavering commitment to brand integrity. Today, Olive Garden operates over 900 locations across the United States, making it one of the largest casual dining chains in the country. Analysts estimate Olive Garden's valuation at several billion dollars, considering not only revenue and physical assets but also brand equity, customer loyalty, and market position. The combination of corporate-owned and franchise locations allows for both scale and operational oversight, ensuring that the brand maintains quality and consistency while continuing to grow strategically. Beyond food, it sells consistency, comfort, and celebration. Customers associate the brand with life milestones, from birthdays to family gatherings. Operationally, the chain continues to innovate. Kitchens are optimized for efficiency, staff training emphasizes both technical skill and hospitality, and digital systems provide insight into customer preferences. Olive Garden's leadership demonstrates that growth and consistency are not mutually exclusive. They can be pursued simultaneously through discipline and strategic investment. Decisions about location, staffing, menu development, and marketing are carefully measured, balancing financial goals with brand preservation. Internationally, Olive Garden remains cautious yet strategic. The brand recognizes that its identity is tied to American culture, dining habits, and family-oriented social rituals. Expansion into other countries occurs slowly, ensuring quality and cultural adaptation. When entering new markets, menus are subtly adjusted to match local tastes, but the essence, hospitality, abundance, and approachable Italian cuisine remains intact. This methodical approach prevents dilution and protects the brand's long-term value. Marketing continues to play a critical role in Olive Garden's sustained success. Campaigns focus on family, tradition, and shared experiences, while digital channels reinforce engagement. Social media platforms showcase menu innovations, celebrate milestones, and respond to feedback, creating a sense of community. Olive Garden understands that marketing is more than promotion. It is a tool to deepen emotional connections and reinforce brand promise. Challenges remain, however. Labor shortages, rising food costs, and competition from both fast casual and premium dining concepts require constant attention. Olive Garden addresses these through operational efficiency, menu optimization, and strategic investments in employee development and retention. Technology supports scalability and consistency, allowing the brand to navigate challenges that have historically derailed other chains. Looking forward, Olive Garden's focus remains clear: preserve the core identity while evolving with the market. This means continuing to refine the menu, enhance the customer experience, expand strategically, and leverage technology without losing the warmth and hospitality that define the brand. Unlike many competitors who chase trends, Olive Garden prioritizes long-term brand health and customer trust. This disciplined approach is the foundation for future success and longevity. The legacy of Olive Garden is more than financial achievement. It is a testament to vision, perseverance, and the power of emotional connection. From a single restaurant in Orlando to a multi-billion-dollar empire, the chain has transformed American dining habits, setting a standard for casual Italian cuisine nationwide. Its story teaches critical lessons. Consistency is as valuable as innovation. operational discipline is as important as creativity, and emotional resonance is often the most enduring form of brand equity. For viewers on Rise Chrono, Olive Garden is not just a restaurant chain, it is a blueprint for sustainable growth, strategic evolution, and brand stewardship. It shows that true success is measured not only by revenue or net worth, but by the trust and loyalty cultivated over decades. The story of Olive Garden reminds us that building a brand is a marathon, not a sprint, and that careful, deliberate decisions often outlast short-term gimmicks or fleeting trends. As the brand moves further into the 2020s and beyond, Olive Garden continues to adapt, innovate, and strengthen its position. It remains a defining example of how vision, discipline, and emotional connection can create an American institution that stands the test of time. And for anyone looking to understand the blueprint of lasting success in the restaurant industry, Olive Garden's journey documented here on Rise Chrono offers lessons that are both practical and inspiring. From humble beginnings to a national icon, Olive Garden's story is far from finished. Its future, like its past, will be defined by strategic decisions, consistent quality, and an unwavering commitment to the promise that started it all: to provide Americans with approachable, abundant, and heartfelt Italian dining. And that is the enduring legacy of Olive Garden.